Other uninvestigated evidence ignored by Clapper and Comey. Russ Tice, a former intelligence analyst for the United States Air Force Office of Naval Intelligence, Defense Intelligence Agency, and NSA, alleged that the Obama administration tapped judges and the Supreme Court of the United States. Tice continued on Sybil Edmonds' Boiling Frogs post, saying that they even tapped members of Congress and the military. Guccifer 2.0's content from the DNC server has never been investigated, or it would be found that it is the same content as the first and second WikiLeaks content. Guccifer 2.0's content from the Democratic Congressional Caucus that was hacked and released has been completely ignored and is directly pertinent to the DNC hacking and the leaks coming from members of Congress. The Awan brothers and their wives and cousin need to be investigated. Imran, Abid, and Jamal Awan made $4 million from 2010 to 2016. They were banned from Capitol Hill and finally are under D.C. Capitol investigation for theft. The proxy server that they established is undoubtedly part of the intelligence leaks and constitutes a national security espionage case of enormous proportion. Debbie Wasserman Schultz protected Imran Awan from being fired by changing his title to advisor instead of technology support. WikiLeaks content from the DNC server shows fraud in the Democratic presidential primary, as well as the George Soros Podesta connection and the strategies that led the fraudulent activity of the Hillary Clinton campaign. Furthermore, the D.C. leaks and George Soros connections with the DNC, CIA, the Democratic Caucus, Nancy Pelosi, and John Podesta affiliations with Russians are lying just beneath the surface of Washington's nasty swamp. The death of Seth Rich, who was an alleged DNC leaker murdered in Washington, D.C., and the reports of Detective Rod Wheeler that indicate the gross discrepancies in the botched police investigation and the involvement of the FBI. Seth Rich's computer was confiscated and lost somewhere in between the FBI and D.C. police. Dmitry Alperovitch, CrowdStrike, who had previously been arrested by the FBI for cyber hacking, and his father Michael, former Russian nuclear scientist and now chief U.S. cryptologist and encryption specialist. CrowdStrike has placed its remote access called Falcon on over 80 congressional computers after the Guccifer 2.0 hacking of the DCC. Clapper also refused to conduct a national security assessment after revelations that former Secretary of State and Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton had used a private server to store work-related emails, including some that had classified information. In other words, Clapper and Comey never looked in the right places to find the true evidence of Russian meddling in the presidential election or Trump-Russian collusion. Comey was the source of the 3 October surprises of the Trump-Russian dossier, Trump Tower server, and the alleged Russian hacking of the DNC server to support Trump and demean Hillary Clinton. Comey has worked nonstop since 2015 to make sure that Hillary Clinton would become president without all those inconvenient investigations getting in the way. Comey was there to once again fix Clinton crimes and evade investigations and prosecution. If the true evidence were to come to light, Comey would go to jail. That is why Comey and Clapper are continuously making mistakes in their testimony. They are terrified that the truth will come out. What we are witnessing is the continuous erosion of the United States intelligence community that is about to collapse altogether. The corporate intelligence house of cards is being blown over by the Trump effect that is like a mirror that reflects to criminals the very crimes that they have committed. The dominoes are all lined up, and as we look back in history, we may see that Donald Trump's tweets became the first domino to expose the rogue surveillance state that has gutted the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. To access more information on James Comey and Robert Mueller, please see our Citizen Intelligence Report entitled Detailing the Commission of Comey's Crimes. A link is provided in the description box below. The articles presented here do not necessarily reflect our position on their respective points of view. Our goal is to present the top stories the mainstream media are reporting, which more often than not are skewed to serve the left's agenda. This is why we encourage our viewers to take advantage of the regular intelcasts we offer. It is through the outstanding political analysis of our own Betsy and Thomas, together with their interviews of U.S. intelligence insiders, that we endeavor to help our viewers make sense of the political landscape.